Newsmax has instructed employees, on-air personalities specifically, that they are no longer allowed to criticize Donald Trump's cabinet picks. And if they do so, they will face termination from the network. Let me repeat that for anybody that may not have gotten it. Newsmax, that has news in the name, right? It's a news organization, is literally telling their on-air personalities, you will be fired if you dare to criticize the cabinet picks of President-elect Donald Trump. Here's what happened. Last week, Newsmax host Greg Kelly did a monologue where he, very smartly for some part of it, went after Pete Hegseth. And Kelly, like Hegseth, is also a former Fox News personality. But in his monologue, he mentioned that Pete Hegseth is exceptionally blackmailable because of all of the horrible things that have come out about his past. He is not a guy we should have as the Secretary of Defense. And that was the point that Kelly was making. Like, hey, this is a bad pick. He even mentioned in the monologue that Donald Trump is not infallible. He was right about that. He's like, hey, sometimes people get things wrong and Trump got this one wrong. Let's pick somebody else. It wasn't even necessarily going after Trump. He wasn't even as hard on Hegseth as he should have been. But apparently this incident, this monologue, was enough to piss Donald Trump off like we have never seen. So what Trump did, according to the reports, is he got on the phone to the CEO of Newsmax, Chris Ruddy, venting his frustrations, getting angry, furious that Greg Kelly had the audacity to go out there and criticize his pick. Ruddy, who according to 3 separate sources was, quote, shaken from this call from Donald Trump. Then Elliot Jacobson, the chief operating officer of Newsmax, on Friday convened all the staff in New York to issue guidance in what one source described as an aggressive, panicked tone. Jacobson said that on-air coverage of Hegseth needed to focus on the positive, the source said. Jacobson told staff that if guests bring up Hegseth, hosts should explain to viewers that the claims against him are allegations and then, quote, pivot. Any issues following this will result in termination, the executive warned. This company, Newsmax, is not a news organization at all. It is a campaign arm of the Republican Party at this point. And if that's what they want to be, they have every right to do that. However, there are different laws governing news organizations versus campaign operations. So if they're going to be a full-fledged Republican campaign apparatus, which in my opinion is clearly what they are, then they need to be regulated as such. They need to be taxed as such, and they're going to lose a lot of their First Amendment media protections. That's what needs to happen. That's what has to happen. That will not happen, obviously, but that is how this should be handled. Because they're admitting we're not a news outlet, we're a propaganda arm. And they need to be regulated as such. They would lose a ton of legal protections if we actually did what needs to be done. This is something that is absolutely unfathomable. Can you imagine the right-wing response? Suppose MSNBC sent down a memo and said, if you talk bad about President Biden or any of the people he nominated, you'll be fired. Holy hell, conservative media would be blowing up with that. It would be front page news for 6 straight months. This garbage? Not even a blip on anybody's radar. Like it doesn't even exist. This is one of the largest conservative outlets in the country saying to its on-air talent, you will be fired if you criticize Donald Trump because he called us crying that you were being mean. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.